all the sponsors, if you notice behind us, the names of the sponsors that help monetarily with donations to support, and also the people's time, company representatives that are here today. We thank you for being here. We thank you also for the helpers in the barn, and those that the experts that can in their field of agriculture, animal science people that can explain everything to you that you need to know. I'd like to mention that last year's display, being the first one, was nominated for an award. It was the 2012 winner of the International Association of Fairs and Expos Judges' Choice Award, which is an international award, and it was an honor for the Today's Agriculture display to be a part of that and to receive that. I'd like to say thank you also to the PennAg staff that helped put this together. My name is Rick Kirby. I'm current president of the PennAg board, and we represent about 600 ag industry companies in Pennsylvania. Our first speaker today is Pennsylvania Agriculture Secretary George Craig. I'd like to ask him to come to the podium at this time.
Agriculture is our state's largest industry, and our close proximity to major markets gives us the opportunity to reach Americans with fresh products and a personal connection with agriculture. Today's Ag is a showcase of common agricultural practices. It gives everyone an opportunity to experience the farm up close. Everyone gets the opportunity to see, hear, and touch where their food comes from. This display gives our farm show visitors a fresh perspective on agriculture. It sets the stage for an open dialogue between consumers and producers. I thank PennAg Industries and its partners for putting together such an educational display. It was such a hit last year that this display, as was mentioned, received international recognition, winning top honors from the International Association of Fairs and Exhibitions. The award is a testament to the exhibit's popularity and to the quality work that made this an award-winning display. Over the next 10 days, more than 400,000 people will enjoy the 97th Pennsylvania Farm Show, the country's largest indoor agricultural event. This year's theme, Made in PA, it makes a difference. And that message is visible throughout the farm show, from the animals in the Today's Ag exhibit, to those in our show rings, to the products made, grown, and judged in the main hall.
Ag has been a huge leader in restoring the Chesapeake Bay with no-till farming and cover crops, buffers, 1.4 million acres, in fact, of no-till. PA farmers have spent over $15 million for best management practices installation over the last few years, and have enrolled over 192,000 acres in the CREP program. So the ag sector, and this was something I learned, has reduced the most nitrogen and phosphorus contribution of any sector to the bay. Ag is responsible for 19% of all the reductions, and about 13 million pounds of nitrogen. And this is huge. It's really unthinkable, unfathomable to a kid who grew up like me in the shadow of Philadelphia, who didn't know much about agriculture, who thought the food came from the grocery store. Here's a challenge though. A large percentage of our BMPs, the best management practices, are not reported on EPA's Chesapeake Bay model, and we have to work with our partners at EPA, including John, to get that fix going forward. But we will, and we're dedicated to doing that. In terms of DEP's role, we've been a partner with Ag, and that's been another real pleasure, being a partner, working with Ag on things like the Chapter 102 erosion regulations, the revised manure management manual, and so forth.
It's great to be here. We're delighted at EPA to be part of this event to showcase today's agriculture. With the holidays just recently behind us, clearly we spend a lot of time with our families enjoying meals and breakfast, and this helps us remind us where our food comes from. We all know that agriculture is feeding the world, and EPA recognizes the positive work that the farming community does and believe that we can do together to improve safe agriculture and the environment. We know that farmers are really true stewards of the land. They take care of the air, the water, the soil, and helping to improve the Chesapeake Bay as well as local waters and streams for Pennsylvania. And as the Secretary mentioned, we know that conservation is working. The farmers are putting more and more conservation practices on the ground, and that conservation is working in the Bay region through a recent NRCS assessment of practices which demonstrates nutrient and sediment reductions. But we want to emphasize that we're really all in this together. EPA is working with all sectors in the Chesapeake Bay watershed in improving our waters that has a mutual benefit for all those involved. And just to give you one fine example of how we continue to work together, we have a shining example in the Watson Run watershed of Lancaster County, where EPA worked closely with the Lancaster County Conservation District, the NRCS, and others to ensure farmers had the technical and financial support they needed to address animal waste and pollution. In Watson Run, the water was not safe for farmers, their families, or animals to drink, and excessive amounts of bacteria, nitrogen, and phosphorus were in the water. But through better management of manure, through a variety of measures, 3 years later, tremendous progress really has occurred there, and we want to cite the Watson Run effort as a shining example of how we can work together both to improve farm viability and also the environment. This year happens to be the 40th anniversary of the Clean Water Act, and we're reminded how far we have come together in both protecting our waters, bringing fish back, restoring local streams, and we look forward to working closely to meet the many challenges ahead with the farm community. As was mentioned before, I think the primary thing we need is continued dialogue, and the farm show and today's agriculture exhibit is a great example of where we need to stay engaged and maintain a dialogue about what keeps farms viable and how do we make local water quality goals in the process. Just recently, our administrator, Jackson, visited Pennsylvania, as well as our regional administrator, to learn firsthand what the farm community needs are. And on Tuesday of next week, as part of the farm show, we'll be having a roundtable of farmers to continue to maintain the dialogue with our region about the issues.